and welcome to the Knitmancy podcast. I am your host, Valentina, coming at you from just south of Richmond, Virginia. You can find me online at a variety of places under a variety of names, all of which are listed down below, as well as Twitch, which I'm taking a break from this week because I need to work on my brain, right? But you can find me at twitch.tv/gnollprincess. It will be listed down below as well. Monday through Friday from about 1:30 to about 4:30. So, yes. And typically over there, I play the video games. I goof. That's pretty much all I do. I have so much just phlegm right now. So much that, in fact, in the olden days, they would be telling me there's all sorts of things wrong with me. So, I don't have anything finished. I have a slight mess on my floor. I'll explain that in a second. And I've only worked on one thing. Well, also the mess on my floor. But one thing. One actual thing. Not just making a mess on my floor. So, I've continued to work on my Opposites Attract cowl. And here's where we're at. So I have gone through the first, second, and third section. I know what I'm talking about, I promise. I'm on to the fourth, and then I have one more section to go. So, oh, window, bane of my life. Anyway. So this is by the Haynes family. I think it's Terri and... I'll pull up the pattern. It's Terri and someone. Doing real great here. Terri and Brian and Terri. There we go. I was in that realm. So it's Opposites Attract cowl by Brian and Terri, and I'm more than halfway done. For reference, there's my little bear buddy, and this is where I am now. That's like, and the halfway point is, I set this out on me, like right between these two stripes right here. Yep. So I'm more than halfway done. I've done a lot of work from last time. I'll move this down. And yeah, like, oh, there you go. The yarns are Brown Sheep Co. Yep, Brown Sheep Company. Prairie, Spun, DK. There we go. I know how to show these things. In Red Barn and Lost Lake. So let's try holding this up. Oh yeah, awesome. So Red Barn, and then there we go, Lost Lake. There you go. That's actually a pretty good representation of the colors. So Red Barn it's red. It's almost a pinky red. And Lost Lake is blue, although it's Border lines on teal, I guess, is the most appropriate way to talk about it. So I have bits on my nail, it's bugging me. So yes, that is that. So hopefully next time I will be done. I will move my little bear buddy. It keeps me on track, so I know what I've done. I don't know, my brain must be the problem here. I've been having so many issues keeping track of where I'm actually at in the repeat that I'm on. So I'll keep knitting as I talk. It's like my brain just gives up, or I think that it's always a half a row, okay? I always get half a row off, and the only person I can blame is myself. But I've had to redo this fourth section, a couple of times, or I've had to rip back an entire repeat a couple of times because of me getting it half a row wrong. Yes, I love being half a row off. Again, only person to blame for that is me. It happens. So let me discuss this mess on my floor. So I figured you'd be able to see it. It's very funny. I keep lifting the wrong one. So what is this mess on my floor? I have a pattern. It's Simplicity 9769. Yes. From the Fashion Historian. It is a pair. No, it is a set of Victorian, Civil War undies. So it includes the chemise, the pants, the breeches. There we go. Or yeah, that's yep, breeches, and then the corset. The reason it's all over my floor is I've previously made the chemise, and what has happened is a friend of mine and myself got this glorious idea of doing some of the Disney princesses, which, when we get down to it, some of them don't actually technically count as princesses. They are merely nobility. But that's a discussion for another time, and we really don't want to get me on So yes, we will divert from that for the second. So either way, taking some of our princesses who aren't technically princesses. It's going to keep bothering me, so I need to keep my hands busy. Her favorite Disney princess is Belle. My favorites range from, like, I love Mulan. I love Tiana from Princess and a Frog. I love Merida from Brave. Two of those would not be a good choice for me or a good fit for me. I'm decidedly white. However, Merida is white. I mean, she's Scottish, and okay, yeah. So I've managed to coax very gently, very lightly, doing kind of a historic inspired version of their outfits. And while yeah, we could have gone the route of late 18th century, early 19th century Belle, I found a gown from House of Worth that kind of fit the bill in the shape and the styling, where is mid to late 19th century, so inspired by one of the Worth gowns. So figured this is appropriate enough for that. Me, I'll be doing Merida, which, I mean, I get to make some very, very lovely, like, medieval style clothing. Cool. But, yeah, essentially we will be doing a historic take on some of the Disney princesses, within reason is really what it is. It's within reason. Until we run out of princesses or we find some other option to do. So that is why there's a bunch of patterns on my floor. Pattern pieces on my floor. I actually have this folded square. It's so hard to do because I'm just looking in the camera. The folded square here. There we go. That folded square is the chemise. This square is the breeches. And if I move, you will see corset pieces laid out. So I wanted to do a mock-up of the corset before we started trying to fit the corset to her body, because human bodies are weird. If something doesn't fit you, it's not the item's fault. It's not the pattern's fault. And it is the pattern's fault. It's not your body's fault. Because bodies are weird. Bodies come in all sorts of sizes and shapes. And most pattern companies do not kind of adhere to the fact that bodies are weird. So I give everyone a little bit of confidence boost. Like, don't worry about it. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. So I want to see if this corset pattern even fits my body, where I have a fairly traditional shape. Problem is, I'm a little bit short-waisted. So there's very little room between my ribs and my hip. Like bone-wise, bone structure-wise, there's very little room between the bottom of my ribs and the top of my hips. But I'm not going to bone this. I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of a mock-up. Because as you can see, there's my stays that have been sitting on the back burner because I still need to figure out how to get the bones long enough, which the easy solution appears to be glue. I don't have glue at this moment. That might change. I might be sitting and making some stays on Sunday. We will see. But all of this comes down to, and relates back to knitting. How, you might ask? Well, as I'm sitting here mucking with the skin on my finger again. Well, in the vein of appropriate clothing, right? In order to make the gown, you need to have the proper underthings. Patterns for the underthings. Figured out. I might even have patterns for the outer things figured out. However, we're still missing something. Because you can't just go around running around in bare feet all the time. No. No. You need some stockings. You need socks. Hey, I knit socks. I like to knit socks. I knit a lot of socks. So this then led me to go looking for a pattern. Like, there have got to be some like Victorian socks that I could knit or something, some stockings. We'll figure out the garter situation. It'll be fine. Well, I did. I found some stockings. I found a Victorian, let's see. That's not this pattern. These are simply called Ladies Knitted Silk Stocking by Butter Publishing Co. And it was published in 1892. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll work with that. So, it is very much a Victorian pattern. Let me see what people have knit them out of to give me an idea. It looks like probably what I'll end up doing is what some of these people have done. Oh, somebody did make them out of gloss lace. I see a couple of people made them or started to make them out of gloss fingering. Oh no, 2 people did gloss lace. Let's check out some of these pictures. Because bodies are weird, I know I'm probably going to have to adjust the stitch count for her body because bodies are weird. And it's a free pattern, it's in the public domain because it was published in 1892. And they're ribbed. So that should mean fitting is a lot less of an issue than, say, a fully stockinette stocking. So it's a Victorian pattern and it has its quirks. All the Victorian in the loosest sense of a Victorian. It's a 19th century pattern. There we go. We'll use the easy term, the get out of free turn. In that it has its quirks. It has its quirks. And I don't mind it telling me how many rounds to knit, right? I don't mind it telling me how to do the heel or anything like that. That's straightforward stuff. It's just a lot of the wording is weird. And I think most knitters who are going into it are first going to be overwhelmed by the fact that it's a block of text versus, some of our other patterns. Do I have anything that's like a free pattern here that I can show? Or just, okay, we're gonna pull up just, the type of pattern where it's indented and, I've got a block of text right there, but I think that's, yeah. But again, all of these blocks of text, it's one instruction. That's one row. So it is overwhelming to sit there and look at. However, it's straightforward. It's, if you knit a sock, you'll be able to knit this pattern, to my understanding. I might have to go through some of my stash to see. I do have some gray gloss, actually, but I was going to knit something else with that. That's beside the point. Back to my points. If you've knit a sock, you'd be able to knit this. Your mileage may vary on the outcome. Guess they really don't know. I can say they really don't account for changes in gauge. But this is fascinating to me. So then looking at that got me thinking, well, I have this book which I got for $2.50 used, which I believe, well, pretty sure this is out of print. Again, I got it from a used bookstore. Take those pattern pieces out, or the pattern instructions. I was trying to figure out how the corset worked. I don't mind showing this page. And like, it's got all sorts of instructions for seaming together blankets, how to cast on, how to bind off. This doesn't reveal too much. And then like patterns for blankets. I believe all, okay, yeah. This really focuses in on, it's a Victorian white work, which is cool. Because I was thinking if we're going with the more 19th century look, maybe I could find a 19th century white work thing and we could set up almost a little like, well, we could set up a photo shoot with this, something out of here. I was thinking kind of like a picnic-y sort of thing because I don't know, Belle's kind of down to earth. I didn't get all the way through. There's apparently a card in here, but like, that's a crochet bedspread, but it also looks like they use it as a tablecloth. Let's see. We've got more things. Okay, yeah, like here's an excellent example of what some of these actually look like. Here's like little doilies. These are knit. This tea cozy is knit, and I believe this pillow is knit. Pillowcase is knit. And it's all using crochet cotton as we know it. So I need to run some of that by her. Oh, here's some other pictures on the front. It includes the poop. I will figure this out one day. It includes pattern for, as I try not to hide too much behind the book, for curtains. Those are knit. Obviously the tea cozy, the doily, cushion. That's a lovely spinning wheel right there. This blanket, and yes, this little mat too. So this is a cool little book. It's a really cool little book that of course I wanted because I'm into, my degree is in 19th century America, so 19th century history and Civil War, love it. And like, I believe copyright date that I have in here is like in the 80s, which even more amusing, right? I don't even know where I saw that, but I'm pretty sure that I did in fact see like, yeah, 1987 I see in here, which would not surprise me at all given the cover. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So I figured I could try to make something from there. I can knit the stockings. I have enjoyed the process of my stays, even if my stays are currently a mess. I say a mess, they're not a mess. I just need to do some work. I need to get some glue. It's been the general consensus is I need to get some glue. But yeah, once that's done, I'm actually really excited to have the stays. But again, like, the issue comes in with, I do need to figure out my boning problem. And once my boning problem is solved, the stays will just fall into place. Yeah, it is weird. Yeah. So that's what I'm up to. You might start to see more sewing. I don't know if this page or if a new page or if a new, I don't know. Let me try it. Let me fix those words. Give me a second. A lot of sewing is going to start happening, and you'll start to see a lot of sewn pieces start showing up on this channel in these videos. However, I don't know if everything, because I want to document the entire process of both Belle and Merida. I want to document the entire process, or at least most of the process, because there's only so many videos that you can document making 19th century undies in. I want to document that process, so I don't know if it will go up on this channel or another channel, and depending, there might be another link down in the description below if that's what happens. However, that's not starting this weekend, that's starting next weekend. It's all good. Maybe I'll tell you the story of whatever happens with my mock-up, which, to explain how this pattern works. Do I not have the front page, or did I fold it funky? Okay, I folded it funky. I tend to do that. As I'm working with it, I will fold the pages all sorts of weird ways. Can't believe that piece is actually a square. So here's our beautiful little ladies in their... Oh, I love how that was in focus for all of 2 seconds, and then it was out of focus. In like every state of undress, if you will. They're not wearing their proper dresses and all that. So I guess this is a state of undress. Drawers is what I was trying to find the word for. But anyway, back to the actual image here. So we have the chemise, which is very simple, very gathered at the top, free flowing the rest of the way down. The pattern pieces for it are ridiculously simple. Oh, the pattern piece for the body is ridiculously simple. Because I'm looking at like the actual pattern pieces back here, and yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculously simple. And here she is with her drawers on. And these are an interesting phenomenon all on their own. I do want to kind of help make these because, again, they're an interesting phenomenon. So, again, you have a waistband, you have some funky looking legs that are cuffed with lace and some ribbon. And then our final girl has her little corset on. And the corset's the part I wanted to talk about. So it requires all the things a regular corset requires. However, I think the modern conception of the corset is something to tight lace with steel bones, you know, your busk and your lacing in the back. Which, yes, this includes a lacing in the back, a busk, steel bones, which I would prefer not to use steel bones because that's a lot more finicky than having something like, I don't know, zip ties, where zip ties are easier for me to get and I can cut them as I need to. Or the other option would be synthetic baleen, and I mean, even American Duchess, who works a lot in, you know, they work a lot in historic reproductions, shoes primarily, but they have quite a few videos and there's books that were published by them um, that cover other topics of, I believe, 18th and 19th centuries. So, this corset. And all Victorian corsets. And, stays before that. And, up until the modern day bra, effectively. Even in the modern day, some modern day bras still have boning in them. But would like to not. I would like to not have this dry throat. I would like to not have all the phlegm that is causing this. But I want to keep talking because I'm a lunatic. Like, once you start getting into corsetry, as it is called, you come to realize that corsets have a variety of options. You have your various kinds of boning. So that could be steel bones, synthetic baleen, or plastic, and reed, or hear this out, you could have a corded corset in which you don't have a bone the way that you think of a bone, but instead you use cord. And that's also an option. You could be lined or unlined, and that kind of decides how your boning channels are done. So, in the sense of, here I can actually pull up my stays for this, something that's lined, you stitch your boning channels onto, and wow, you can just really tell how I can't sew straight to save my life. Also, none of these I have drawn in. I have drawn in all of the other, most of the other. There are 2 whole pieces that I don't have the boning channels drawn on. But I have given myself guides because, oh boy. So with a lined corset, you will absolutely sew your boning channels into your fabric like this. So many. Okay, I'm not dealing with all these loose threads until this is a lot closer to done. But yeah, so in a lined corset, your boning channels look like this. In an unlined corset, because you don't need a lining, you put in bone casing. Either bone casing or you will do twill tape. Both will do about the same thing, to my understanding. The point is you want something sturdy that your bones aren't going to just pop through. So, yeah, this is an unlined corset with a busk and eyelets, not eyelets, grommets down the back. It is laced. There we go. There we go. It appears like, as I'm just off camera talking vaguely. There we go. It appears to be mid-bust. The thing is, because I have a variety of corset patterns, including one that came, the stays are over there, including one that came with the stays, actually 2 that came with the stays, that if this pattern doesn't work, I have other options. Let's see what my phone has to say. Oh, I got a text message. I'm being paged to talk history while I'm talking history. So, That does look like it. Looks like a button. Yes, as I am sitting here trying to figure out I like how I'm being paged about it. Okay. Stepping away from this for a second. My great uncle, yes, works on a farm. And so sometimes he finds things that like are real old, like Civil War era old, right? And so I sometimes get paged to like look at things. So button. I mean, it's a cool button. Still got the gold on it. It's awesome. So, seeing as I am just being paged, I think I'm going to go. I think we've had enough ramblings about me talking about corsets and Victorian underthings enough that I need to go and talk about it elsewhere. So, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, stay home if you can. And until next time, fare thee well.